So I do want to see a continuation to the upside. Now I'm watching this level. Price does manage to come back down here. This should offer us nice buys on dollar for us to run up into the buy side liquidity. And this is our breaker block with a fair value gap. Price can offer us that as the high of the day tomorrow for us to then start looking for shorts. This will be an ideal entry for the new day. Beautiful relative equal highs which have just formed there. So price is likely going to want to sweep those before moving lower, running for these lows and potentially these lows. What's going on, guys? It's GBP, baby. Welcome back to the best channel on YouTube. I do want to start this video with a round of applause. And the reason for that is because we've hit 800 subscribers. Thank you so much. And because we've had such a beautiful delivery today. It's just been incredible. So yeah, let's get straight into the charts as per usual. Now this is the daily on dollar. You'll see that we traded higher above Wednesday's high, just as anticipated. We didn't quite reach that Tuesday high. I'm still anticipating us to trade into that today, on the Friday. So I'll get that marked out for us like so. And I do doubt I do have my eyes set on these. These are weekly swing highs, but I don't think we're going to be reaching them this week. Probably next week with interest rates and things. However, there is this bearish order block right here. So if we do sweep this high, which I'm anticipating, then I'd like to think that we can trade into this bearish order block. Last up close candle for the down move. We can trade into that bearish order block as a terminus for the week. So I'm going to draw this out like so. I'm going to write daily bearish order block. And at least we know that's going to be the highest I anticipate price to want to trade to. Now, calling tops isn't the best idea, but at least we know that this is a significant level where we are likely to see some kind of retracement. So let's drop down to the 4 hour and we can see the beautiful, beautiful expansion we had today. You see we traded higher, running towards these highs just as we called. We came down, traded into this bullish order block, offering us the entries that I was talking about in yesterday's video. There, we traded down and then look at that reaction. Wonderful. Rushed higher, and you can see we're just slightly consolidating now. But I do, like I said, like I have been saying, I am anticipating a continuation to the upside in the new day. Now, what's the lowest I expect price to trade to? Well, I do want to bring our attention to this. This is now going to be a bullish order block. Since we traded through it on the upside, this is now a bearish order block. So I'm going to look at this volume, and I'm going to look at the midpoint of that level. And the reason for that is because that is the lowest I want price to be trading to in the new day. So let's drop down to the 4 hour, and you'll see that that midpoint lines up nicely with this 4 hour fair value gap as well. So it's been a long time since I spoke about consequent encroachments of fair value gaps, but basically it's common for price to want to trade into a fair value gap and leave it at the 50% level. That is bullish behavior, very typical. So it'll be nice to see if that can happen. Also, we have these 3 down consecutive candles. The high of this is the high of order block as well, technically. So this is another reason I expect price to want to come and find support at this level for us then to earn launchpad higher and continue pushing towards the buy side liquidity as our target. Finally, let's drop down to the hourly. Again, there's that swing high I was talking about. There is a fair value gap here. Also, we've also just created relative equal lows just below here. So price is likely going to want to sweep that in the new day, offer us an entry here to buy, and then, like I said, go into that buy side liquidity. Now, price doesn't have to come down here. It's just that it's likely to, as in it might want to accumulate more positions, so it can. Another thing to take note of, look at the 50% level of this wick, and you'll see how price is lining up. That high is lining up with that level as well. So just something for you guys to study. I do want to bring our attention as well to this gap. How do I know price isn't going to come all the way down here again? Well, this gap, when we see things like this is how price is defending these levels. When I say defending, ICT, when he says, there's a video, I think it was in Persian Reaver, he talks about defending levels, and the more you study price, the more you start to see what he means. But something like this provides a level of support that can encourage me to be confident to expect higher prices tomorrow. So if you want me to go into more detail on that, just drop a comment below. I'll be happy to explain, but yeah, that's just for keeps sake. So yeah, let's quickly take a quick look at that 15-minute. There's that level I was talking about in yesterday's video that you can see we traded into before expanding beautifully higher, and now it's consolidating a little bit more. Again, look at that bullish order block at that level I was just talking about where I'd like to buy from. So again, price may want to return to that offer buys. And if we look at this range from this low to this high, that I do believe that is just about in the optimal trade entry. You'll see that order block open lines up with the low of the optimal trade entry. So again, all of these are confluences as to why I want to see price reach up there and why we should be confident in our expectations for higher pricing on dollar. So that's going to be everything on dollar. Kept it short and simple. GBP, we'll go with the daily. Now GBP was in a lot more consolidation than I anticipated. I thought GBP was going to fall quite aggressively lower. Let me just quickly show you GBP, Euro GBP. You see that Euro's been showing a level of weakness. I'm expecting Euro GBP to continue to show weakness, meaning that if we're looking for shorts, we should be trading Euro. And that explains why GBP was really struggling to get down today. Yeah, it had a hard time. It still traded lower, just as anticipated. It traded into our breaker block. Let me just show you. These charts are quite ugly. So let me get some marking outs for us real quick. So you can see we traded up to the 25% level off that wick. Again, respecting that 50% level, which I wanted to see if you watched yesterday's video. There's that 25% level. We traded into that, and we traded into an hourly breaker, I believe, just as anticipated. So yesterday, if you watched yesterday's video, I called out this as the breaker block. Look at that respect though. We respected the 50% level gorgeously, stabbing into this fair value gap coupled with the breaker, high, low, high, high. And then, of course, we break lower and have traded lower. Now, GBP didn't quite reach this swing low, and I'm not suggesting that it necessarily will. But these two swing lows, now that this has happened, so now that we traded down to here, we've created relative equal lows. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw these lows out. In fact, it's on the 4 hour as well. These are now relative equal lows. So this is going to be a nice draw on liquidity for the new day that I would like to see GBP work its way into. Now, I'm probably not going to be trading GBP. I'll probably trade Euro purely because of how ugly GBP has been, as I've been saying. But yeah, sell side liquidity, and we have an imbalance right here at BISI, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. So price is going to want to fill that on the downside, which is lined up perfectly with our sell side liquidity target. Let me just get that to the right. So what is the highest I expect price to trade to? Well, we have this bearish order block with this long, very long wick. I think, let me see. Technically, there's a fair value gap here. From here to this high to this low. Sorry, this high to this open. This is a fair value gap, because there's only delivery on the upside, and then of course we traded through on the downside. So what does that make that? An inversion fair value gap. So let's just make that black, and this will be the highest I expect price to trade to. So it can trade into it, but preferably in the new day, I would like to see price respect this level. Like I said, you can see how consolidated Euro was, not the best price. I mean, pound was, my bad, not the best, but and we've just filled in another fair value gap. So in the new day, if we are going to rally to create some kind of Judas swing, this will be the highest I want to see price trade before moving lower into that sell side liquidity. But like I said, pound is probably not the ideal pair to be trading in these conditions. So yeah, that's everything on pound. And then Euro delivered gorgeously. We'll start on the daily with Euro as well. Now, Euro finally has, well, again, traded into this fair value gap. It's been doing so for the whole week, basically. Again, respected the 50% level. That's what we wanted to see. If you recall, 25% level traded lower, closed lower. Again, seeing closes like this, excellent, nice to see. Now, where am I targeting Euro? We have this daily bullish order block right here that I've had my eyes on for a while. If you've been watching my videos, you'll know I've had my eyes set on this. So I'm watching this level quite a lot. So this is a bullish order block on the daily. Just gonna make that blue. So if we do continue to expand lower, which I'm anticipating, then I'd like us to trade down into that level. And then we also now have relative equal lows. So there's going to be sell stops residing below these lows for us to trade into as well, which is perfect. And if we drop that, and also I wanted to mark out the 50% level of this daily. This is now a bearish order block, but I'm going to look at the volume of the order block, and what I'm going to mark out is the 50% level, which is mean threshold, sorry, as it's a bearish order block. and I'm going to mark out the 25% level, and you'll see why when we drop down to a lower time frame. So now let's go to the 4 hour, and you'll see I've marked out these levels because this is the highest I want to see price trade to in the new day. So it can come up there and it can close in this imbalance, but I don't think it will. It can do it, but I prefer to see price leave this fair value gap partly open. So I would like to see it trade to the 50% level off this fair value gap, which is just below that 25% level, and then find resistance there. Now, like I said, it can completely trade and fill in the fair value gap, but preferably I'd like to think that we can see a nice turnaround at this level, stop loss above here with an expectation of price to run down into the sell side and this daily bullish order block. Why don't I want to see it get filled? Just because of how bearish we are. We had a beautiful expansion. We traded up into this bearish order block today, traded into that, and then you can see our price just delivered gorgeously to the downside. You'll notice as well, let me just see, 217, 216. So price has actually failed to take out this swing low. The low of this is 8216, the low of this is 8217. So there's like one pipette is failed to take out this low, which is another reason I'm anticipating price to run down into these lows. They're engineering liquidity down here. If we drop down to the 1 hour, we can have a better look. And what you'll see is we've just formed relative equal highs here and this swing high for buy side. So we've got now a Judas swing for us to run higher into this buy side, this short term, near term buy side liquidity just here. Offer us an entry for some sells and then start looking for us to push lower. Another thing, this is if we do trade up into this level, this is a bearish order block. This would act as a reclaimed bearish order block. Now, I will cover this in a separate video if we do trade into it, but that's just something for you guys to go study. But overall, in the new day, I'd like to think that we can take out these relative equal highs that we're creating. We've got some bearish order blocks here and here. That should repel price lower, running for these relative equal lows. Now, we don't have high impact news until 8:30 New York. So I'd like to think that the setup will form during London, and then as we consolidate through to 8:30, and then I'd like to think that we can start seeing some expansion to the downside. So that's going to be everything, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Also, I did do a trade execution where I broke down how I got in on this beautiful move, explaining everything. So you might want to check that out as well. And I'll catch you on Sunday. Peace.